What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Let's dive right into our first news. KamaruUsman made it clear he doesn't think either IanGarry or Belal Muhammad deserves the next welterweight title shot, no matter who comes out on top this weekend. Usman pointed out that both fighters still have a lot to prove before earning a shot at the gold. "I don't think either guy deserves a title shot at all," Usman said. He referenced recent fights to back up his opinion, mentioning Garry's loss to Shavkat Rakhman, and noting that even though Garry outsmarted Prates in his last bout, it wasn't long ago that he suffered a defeat. He emphasized that a single win doesn't automatically put someone in line for a championship fight. Usman also questioned Belal's relationship with IslamMakhachev, bringing up the fact that Belal has been talking about fighting for the title if he beats Garry. "Not long ago, you lost to Shavkat. Past that, if Belal wins, now you want to challenge the man you trained with and called your brother for the title? That doesn't make sense," Usman said. He stressed that loyalty and past connections matter in the fight game, but at the end of the day, the title is the ultimate goal. Usman added, "What are we in this for? If it's not for the gold, what are you in this for?" "Exactly. I agree." He made it clear that fighters need to earn their way through the ranks, and that friendship or past training relationships shouldn't override merit when it comes to title contention. The conversation highlighted Usman's no-nonsense approach to championship opportunities, underlining that only fighters who have truly proven themselves at the highest level deserve a shot at the belt. He didn't hold back in calling out those who may think they are ready too soon, making it clear that the welterweight division remains competitive and every title shot must be earned through consistent top-level performances. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to support the channel. Moving on to another news, Rampage Jackson has revealed just how much his life has changed since stepping into the streaming world. In a recent live session, Rampage explained that he's made more money in only 8 months of streaming than he did throughout his entire 25-year fighting career. He said he never expected this kind of turnaround, but the numbers speak for themselves. Sponsors have been paying him far more for his streaming content than they ever did during his time in the cage. According to Rampage, the support, the views, and the engagement he gets from his streams have completely surpassed anything he experienced as a fighter. He joked about being the biggest degenerate there is on stream, but the fans seem to love it. His clips, reactions, and gaming moments consistently pull huge numbers, often outperforming the viewership his actual fights used to get. Rampage also mentioned that with the recent Paramount Plus deal and ongoing conversation around increasing UFC post-fight bonuses, the contrast in earnings has become even more obvious to him. Even while hosting the Jackson podcast, streaming has quickly become his main source of income and the thing that brings him the most excitement. For Rampage, the shift from fighting to streaming hasn't just been a career change. It's been a complete financial and personal transformation, proving that sometimes the biggest wins come long after leaving the cage behind. Moving on to another news, Ilia Topuria's brother, Aleksandre Topuria, is set to face Khamzat Almakhan at UFC Qatar. In an interview with the UFC this week, he opened up about feeling the pressure of being Ilia's brother and how he plans to prove himself in the octagon. Aleksandre admitted there are a lot of questions surrounding him, and he's determined to answer them with his performance. "Maybe because I'm Ilia's brother, people have expectations, but I plan to answer all of them tomorrow," Aleksandre said. He emphasized that he speaks honestly and confidently, sharing his true feelings rather than trying to impress anyone. "Any fighter needs to feel confident. Sometimes the way my brother speaks, it inspires me, but I always say what I feel. If you ask me if I'm going to win, I say yes, because that's my feeling. There are always questions, and I'm happy I can answer them." Aleksandre also highlighted the hard work he's put into his camps. "I put a lot of work into all my training. In this camp, I gave 100%. I enjoy the feeling of responding to all those questions with my actions. That gives me confidence and peace of mind. It's very important to me to know that my effort in training will show in the fight." He made it clear that his focus is on proving himself through performance, rather than words. Aleksandre's dedication and mindset reflect the discipline needed to succeed in the UFC, showing fans that while he may carry the legacy of his brother Ilia, he is ready to carve his own path and make a statement at UFC Qatar. His commitment to honesty, hard work, and confidence sets the stage for an exciting showdown as he aims to answer every question about his abilities in the cage. Moving on to another news, Belal Muhammad had a bizarre moment at UFC Media Day. Early on during UFC Fight Night 265 Media Day in Qatar, Belal bragged about how at 37, he kept up with UFC lightweight Ignacio Bahamondes and his 17-year-old brother Albert during training camp. He talked about the energy they bring, how training with young monsters makes him feel younger, and how pushing himself with them keeps him sharp. About 10 minutes later, a reporter asked Belal a simple, harmless question, something that should have led to a normal answer. Instead, things took a strange turn when Belal referenced the Jeffrey files, instantly making the entire room uncomfortable. His attempt at humor didn't land, and the vibe shifted noticeably. Belal tried to explain himself by saying the energy those young fighters bring makes training feel different. It feels like the teen files without the thing, he said, stumbling awkwardly as he tried to avoid making the moment worse. He added that he feels like he absorbs their powers through sparring and training, saying it genuinely makes him feel good and motivates him to keep going. The moment was strange, unexpected, and instantly clipped by fans online. What started as lighthearted talk about training with younger athletes quickly turned into an awkward exchange that left the room silent. Despite the odd joke, Belal's main point was that pushing himself against younger, hungry fighters keeps him sharp, energized, and confident heading into fight week. Moving on to another news, Khamzat is currently in Qatar to support Arman ahead of his fight against Dan Hooker tomorrow. While spending time with the team, Khamzat met Arman's father for the very first time, and the moment quickly caught attention online. The two greeted each other with respect, sharing a warm exchange that highlighted the close bond within Arman's circle. Khamzat has always shown strong support for fighters he believes in, and being there in person for Arman is just another example of that loyalty. Fans loved seeing the interaction, especially with Khamzat smiling and Arman's father welcoming him like family. With the fight just hours away, the energy around Arman's camp is high, and having someone like Khamzat there adds even more confidence and hype heading into tomorrow's showdown. Moving on to another news, Jorge Masvidal broke down why he believes Arman will beat Dan Hooker tomorrow. He called Arman versus Dan Hooker an action-packed fight that fans should not miss. Masvidal highlighted that Arman has the edge on the feet, describing him as a little quicker, sharper, and cleaner. Not that it's not going to be a dogfight still. Hook is one of the toughest guys on the roster, but I think his skill set will be limited a little bit against Arman. Arman will be able to get takedowns, maybe a little bit of control on the ground, and then on the feet. He should do all right, he said. Masvidal added that if the fight goes down the stretch, Hooker will make it competitive, as he always does. But overall, he sees Arman winning. His analysis focused on the technical aspects, emphasizing Arman's speed, control, and ability to capitalize on Hooker's weaknesses. Jorge also previewed the co-main event between IanGarry and Belal Muhammad. He explained that this is a stylistically tough matchup for Belal and noted the difference in their body types. It's going to look like a 205 fighter versus a 155 because Belal's very short and compact, and Ian's a big welterweight, almost like a small light heavyweight. It's going to be entertaining to see what Belal does to get inside. Can he take him down? Can he control him? Can he stay on top of him? Masvidal said. While Masvidal admitted he's a big fan of Belal and usually roots for him, he acknowledged the challenge. Ian fights very point-based, staying outside, landing shots, moving, and keeping opponents at a distance. I think he's going to give Belal a lot of trouble. It's going to be tough. My heart's with Belal, but this one's going to be a tough fight for him to pull out. I wouldn't be surprised if Ian sneaks out a decision, Masvidal added. His breakdown offered fans insight into both fights, combining technical analysis with personal opinions, highlighting Arman's chances to control and win against Hooker, and providing a realistic perspective on the challenges Belal faces against Ian. Masvidal's commentary emphasized the competitive nature of both matchups and gave viewers a clear picture of what to expect inside the octagon. Moving on to another news, Rico Verhoeven has officially left Glory, and the big question now is whether he might be heading toward the UFC. For anyone wondering who he is, Rico is absolutely massive in the kickboxing world, widely respected and often considered a legend of the sport. Just last night, he vacated the Glory heavyweight title, announcing the decision in a long and emotional Instagram post. The last fighter he beat was Arden Vahitov, the same guy who once defeated Alex Pereira and was briefly linked to the UFC himself. Rico has also built strong relationships with several top MMA names, including Tom Aspinall, as the two have trained together multiple times. That connection alone adds even more intrigue to the idea of Rico transitioning into MMA. According to Ariel Helwani, Rico has been in talks with multiple promotions, and yes, the UFC is one of them. Sources say he hasn't decided what his next move will be after stepping away from Glory, but the door is wide open. While Rico is undeniably a legendary figure, he's also 36 years old, which means his window for making a major MMA run isn't extremely long. Still, his size, experience, discipline, and championship mindset make him an interesting potential addition to the heavyweight division. Fans have already started speculating about possible matchups and how his elite kickboxing would translate in the octagon. Whether he signs with the UFC or explores other opportunities, this marks a major shift for one of kickboxing's most dominant champions. Moving on to another news, RenatoMoicano has finally responded to MauricioRuffy after weeks of tension. A few weeks ago, Ruffy claimed the UFC was pushing a matchup between him and Moicano, but he wasn't thrilled about it because he said he's a fan of Moicano. Moicano didn't hold back this time, making it clear he's not in the fight game to make friends. No, bro. I'm not in this game to make friends, bro. I'm here to make money, and you took my money. F you, bro. F you 100%, Moicano said. He went on to explain that he tried to keep it light, but the frustration was real. God, I said the nicest thing I could. I was like, F you, bro. I don't give a bro. I don't want to be friends. F you. Moicano also shared a glimpse into his mindset during the moment. I felt so bad too. It was like 5 a.m. My flight was leaving, and I get on the bus because the UFC had shuttles to the airport. I just sat there, and I'm like, yeah, man, fight game is tough. You need to realize that. He even noticed Ruffy had his kids with him, adding another layer to the situation. And he has his kids with him, too. And I'm just like, yeah, but it is what it is. It's better than most people. Moicano then reflected on the bigger picture, especially life back in Brazil. You know how life is hard in Brazil. People working 10 hours for $300 a month. I cannot complain about it. I just do what I love, and sometimes you have to take the loss. It is what it is, you know. Renato's words show the raw, no-nonsense mindset fighters need to survive in the UFC, balancing respect for life's challenges with the harsh realities of the fight game. Moving on to another news, Paddy Pimblett decided to troll Arman ahead of UFC Qatar. Arman recently played a rapid-fire winner-stays-on game with TNT Sports, choosing winners from a list of lightweight classics. He picked Poirier over Justin Gaethje, Poirier over Eddie Alvarez, Poirier over Michael Chandler, Poirier over Donald Cerrone, Poirier over Tony Ferguson, and Poirier over Max Holloway. When it came to Poirier versus BJ Penn, he finally switched and chose BJ Penn. Then for BJ Penn versus Edson Barboza, he stuck with BJ Penn again. When the matchup turned to BJ Penn versus Arman, he confidently picked Arman. Then he was asked, you versus Conor, and he answered without hesitation, Arman. You versus Charles Oliveira. Arman again. You versus Paddy Pimblett? He said for sure Arman. You versus Ilia? Arman. When asked about IslamMakhachev, they clarified the weight class. At 155, Arman chose himself. Then came the big one. You versus Khabib. Arman finally switched his pick and said Khabib. After the video went up, Paddy jumped into the comment section and delivered a little jab of his own. He wrote, Arman versus a bit of back pain on fight day. Back pain check. It was classic Paddy, poking fun at Arman's previous injury issues and stirring up conversation just weeks before the event. Moving on to another news. IslamMakhachev has sent a strong message to DanaWhite, making it clear that he isn't fully satisfied with how the UFC has been promoting its fighters lately. In a recent interview in Russian, Islam said he feels Dana might be dealing with burnout after years of unmatched success with the UFC. According to him, the energy that once fueled the promotion seems to have faded, and he believes Dana needs to go back to his roots, back to the hunger and hustle that built the UFC into what it is today. Islam explained that, in the past, the UFC could turn almost anyone into a star simply through its promotional power. They pushed fighters, built stories, and paid close attention to creating big moments. But now, he feels that spark is missing. In his words, the organization seems to have lost interest in building new stars the same way it once did. He added that Dana is now involved in so many different things outside the UFC that it's natural for someone to lose motivation after being at the top for so long. What really caught attention was Islam saying that he knows Dana is already looking for someone to replace him. He claimed that Dana has slowly started identifying people who could take over when the time comes. Islam also pointed out that the UFC can make any fight massive if they truly want to. But lately it feels like the passion to push fights hasn't been the same. As for who could take over the job one day, Islam mentioned that Conor would be an entertaining choice, but with all the controversies and issues he has dealt with in recent years, that possibility seems extremely unlikely. Instead, Hunter Campbell appears to be the most realistic future replacement. Many fighters already go directly to him for bookings, and he works side by side with Dana in nearly every major meeting. He has quietly become one of the most powerful figures in the company. Islam went on to remind fans that when the UFC sold to WMG back in 2016 for $4 billion, part of the agreement only went through because the buyers insisted on keeping Dana as president. They believed the UFC couldn't run properly without him steering the ship. But now with TKO running things, the same sentiment doesn't seem to exist. TKO appears more open to phasing Dana out over time, merging him out of the position that he dominated for decades. Islam noted that Dana doesn't seem to have the same level of control he once had. He often avoids questions now, where before he would at least drop hints, tease announcements, and always stay vocal. Islam's message wasn't disrespectful, but it was honest. He believes that if the UFC wants to stay at the top, it needs to put real energy back into promoting fights and building fighters again, just like the old days. That's it from MMA Pulse News. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for your daily dose of MMA news.